So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a late night and very short preview of Villa versus Forest. It's Thursday night. It's 10:15 here in Ireland. It's been a long day, but tomorrow is the day that myself and Paddy head over to Villa Park. So I'll take a long day today, to have the excitement of going over tomorrow. But I didn't want to let it pass without doing a preview. Short and all as this one would be, it'll only be maybe about 15 minutes. But I didn't want to leave it pass because this is a really important game for Aston Villa at the weekend. I'm just going to probably end up saying it from here on in that nearly every game we play from now until the end of the season will be our most important game of the season because we've nothing left to lose. Anything we get from here, if we like 9 games, you win. Let's say you win 5 of those 9 games, you should really be banging with a chance of getting Europe. And the reason I say that is because it would mean if we play those 5 games, and let's say we get a result against Brentford, we get a result against the likes of United that we've got coming up. You know, there's a possibility, there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance, and it's like our run-in isn't that easy. So every single game from here on in, I think is going to be our most important game, and that's brilliant. That's the way we want it. We want every game at the end of the season to be a most important game. God knows that we've been playing in leagues before, specifically in the Premier League when we were a mid-table team, back maybe in the early 2000s, maybe even at some stages in the late 90s. And we were playing for nothing. Last 9 games were dead rubbers, and we knew we weren't going to go down. We knew we probably weren't good enough to make a run to get into Europe. And now we're finally making that run. And it starts this Saturday at 3 o'clock against Nottingham Forest. So I'm absolutely thrilled to bits. It's I'm getting news, Macadamia is saying that it's going to be roasting in Brum this weekend. I've heard that it's going to be warm, all right, and my app says that it's going to be warm too. So I'm looking forward to it. That means you just got to hydrate a small bit more, doesn't it? That means you just got to hydrate a small bit more, and God knows we're well used to that as well. So I don't have Paddy tonight. I just said I'd jump on myself, but so keep your comments coming in there, keep me company. But I suppose let's talk about the game a small bit. Let's talk about the potential for this game. And Nottingham Forest, I have to say, are a funny fish at the moment. They're not too dissimilar to the likes of Leicester or Chelsea at this moment in time. What I mean by this is that there's a small bit of an undercurrent of upheaval within the club at the moment. We're not too disassociated from Steve Cooper being on his way out of Nottingham Forest. I think the last time we played him as well, if I'm not mistaken, there was rumours he was going to get the boot, and then we beat them. And then didn't he get a 5-year contract, or maybe he just got the 5-year contract the week before we were supposed to play them? I think there was something in and around there, but they said they were thinking about sacking him, and then they didn't, and then they gave him a 5-year contract, and now they're thinking about sacking him again and bringing in Patrick Vieira. So Forest have their own little issues to deal with, and are coming to an in-form team, a team that's bang in form. But like with every single team in the Premier League, you can't take them for granted. I'm not going to say we took Leicester for granted, because I think what Leicester's best effort they scored with. So we couldn't take Leicester for granted. We ended up getting the job done against Leicester, but you're not going to score 87-minute screamers and then get VAR overturn a penalty in the 96th minute every game. So we're going to have to treat Forest with the absolute respect that they deserve, because they do have some very, very good players. Like, I think we'd all agree that Brennan Johnson, if he was wearing claret and blue, we'd absolutely love him. He's really becoming a player that's kind of growing into the Premier League. And I think, regardless whether Forest stay up or not, and I think they will stay up, I think that Brennan Johnson will be a Premier League player next season. They've went and they've spent a lot of money. I really like Fuller, the midfielder they have there as a midfield stopper. I think one of the biggest issues that they have is that the rotation of the players that they have in there, they take out creativity and put in defensive players, and then the whole team gets a bit disjointed because they kind of play that Christmas tree formation. They're going to play 4-3-2-1 all the way up. Like they've got Keylor Navas in goals, fantastic goalkeeper, like really good goalkeeper. They've got what's the guy that they signed? Was it from can't remember where they signed him from. Is it Nikate, the centre half? He's been injured a small bit. He's back in the team now. They've got Lodi, the guy that they signed from Atletico Madrid. They've got Nico Williams on the other side, who's an attacking threat for them. So they've got some decent options. But one of the biggest things is, you know, they're stuck for goals. They're playing Gibbs White up top at the moment. It's 2 goals all season in the league, and hopefully he doesn't score again at the weekend. I was skeptical at the amount of money they paid Wolves for him. I just don't see that amount of money of a player, but he's still a good player, if that makes sense. And Villa are going to need to keep an eye out for him. They have an absolute laundry list of injuries at the moment. Chris Wood, Willie Bolly, Dean Henderson, Scott McKenna, Bianconi, Omar Richards, Ryan Yates, Serge Aurier, Emmanuel Dennis, all likely out at the weekend. Well, maybe Dennis might make the weekend, I think they said, but the rest of them are likely out. So it's you know, they've, and that just goes to show that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 players that they have out injured. And they're still definitely going to be able to field a squad of 16, 17, of squad of 19, should I say, at the weekend. They've invested an awful lot of money. I think they would be bonkers to get rid of Steve Cooper, but who knows what happens if they don't get a result at the weekend. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because that can galvanize a team. Because I don't think that any of these players, specifically the players that came up from the championship, I don't think if Brennan Johnson was asked in the morning, should you get rid of Steve Cooper, he'd say, no way, got to hold on to him. I think the same might be said of some of the other players that came up, the Scott McKennas of the team, and so on. I think that there's a galvanizing factor in Steve Cooper, but you know, you just don't know what way the wind is going to blow with the chairman at the minute. And you know, what's rumbling around there can either be unsettling for the team or it can be galvanizing for the team. And thank God we don't have that issue on our side of the field here, because I think our biggest decision obviously is going to be, does Kamara come back in? Is he going to be fit? I personally don't think so. I think he'll have to do with a place in the bench. Are we going to start Traore? Is Bailey going to play? Will John Duran get a run? That's really the only position that's open for discussion at the moment. Ashley Young will most likely continue at right back, and you're going to have, I still think you're going to have Buendia, Luis, McGinn, and Ramsey in that midfield area, and it'll be a case of Bailey or Traore in there. But it's going to be an interesting team sheet tantrum. We're going to try and get the team sheet tantrum to you guys from Villa Park. Don't know how we're going to read your comments, but we might accost somebody on the side of the road and ask them to bring up the comments and show us the comments while we're doing it. But we will try and get a team sheet tantrum and just react to it as well, maybe live outside Villa Park, if we can get up there. But yeah, I think the team is going to be settled. I'm going to give you guys my score prediction first. I'm going to give you my score prediction now. I think Villa are going to score goals. I think this could be either 2-0 or 3-1 to Villa is what I'm going to go with. Don't ask me why. I'm going to go 3-1 Villa. Don't ask me why. AVFC Stato, throw in some stats there. I just saw, if you guys didn't catch the Villa View with Stato earlier on, get on it ASAP. There's some great stats there, but throw in some stats there for sure. Matt Hallinan, thank you so much again. Points for podcasters, still trying to get used to this confident feeling going into a match. Europe or no, best feeling since the promotion run. I absolutely agree. Like, I usually work from home. I work from exactly where you can see here. This is where I work from. And I actually had to leave here and travel 2 hours to go to the office today, to go inside. And everybody, I don't know what gives it away, but everybody in my place of work knows I'm a massive Aston Villa fan. And I swear I probably lost about an hour and a half of productivity on work today, if not 2 hours of productivity, from people just coming up and asking me about Aston Villa. And that's kind of class. That's class from the point of view of people are like the feel good factor around Aston Villa. And these guys aren't Villa fans. Like obviously, some of them only have a passing interest in football, but Villa are getting noticed. I'm okay. I'm okay with going either way. I'm not one that buys into the intangible of, do you want your team to go under the radar? Do you want your team to be confident? You just look at Newcastle United; they're soaking in the adulation that they're getting, and they're rising above it, and they're continuing to go on. And fair play to them. Let them do that. And I hope that this team can do it, because we all want to be patted on the back. We all want to be patted on the back. And as a fan, you want somebody to turn around and say, God, Villa are doing good, aren't they? You don't want somebody to turn around and say, oh God, Villa have been crap since Kamara has been injured. And then it's completely false. I personally like to have people like I enjoy talking about Aston Villa, and I really enjoy talking about Aston Villa when we're doing good things, because people might come up and say Unai Emery is doing a great job, and then it gives you the opportunity to say, yeah, he's great. Like, in fairness, we got him at the right time. You see other clubs that maybe haven't got their manager, and they're getting interim managers and so on to get them through to the summer, whereas we can look forward and we can build and hopefully jump into Europe. That's a fun conversation to have with people. Or maybe I'm just maybe overly excited about Aston Villa, but that is, I find that a fun conversation to have, and that's kind of the way that things are going at the moment for us. Exactly, Matt. I agree with you. This feel good is this confidence. I'd say instead of a confidence, I'd say more of a feel good factor about what we're seeing on the field, and the cohesion of the team. That's what I have. I suppose you could call it confidence, but it's giddiness as well. And as I said before, you got to celebrate the wins. You got to celebrate the good times, because there will be times, and there will be times very soon, where things might not be very good at all. And you don't want to let the good times pass, because you can't go back and celebrate them in retrospect, because that way you might look like a bit silly if you do that. So that's just my view, and I'm sure you guys will have other views as well. So I think the team, I'm going to go with 2-0 Villa. No, what did I say? 3-1 Villa. And that's just because I want to see goals. But I think the team will be pretty similar. I probably actually even think Bailey starts and he comes off, and Bertrand Traore comes on, like happened last time. Mightn't be the most popular decision from the manager, but I just want to see some good football. To be honest with you, whoever plays, if it's Bailey, if it's Troy, it doesn't really bother me. I want to see McGinn in action. I want to see Louise pulling the strings back there. I want to see Watkins bag a goal. And yeah, as I say, I'm just really, really, really looking forward to it. Some of your chats there. So Shootings Tweed asked me, where am I sitting? I'm sitting in the upper Trinity. You guys will know I am chairman of Lions Club for Connacht here, and I got my tickets through the Lions Club network. So that's where the tickets are, usually above in the upper Trinity. So if there's anyone here coming from any of the Lions clubs overseas, give me a shout. You'll see me. I'd love to have a pint with you beforehand. Where are you? Top G's FIFA Gaming asks, where are we staying? Same place we always stay when we go over. Stay in the Aston Social, because that way we can just roll out of bed in the morning and roll over to the stadium. So God bless Karen and all of them in the Aston Social. They have to put up with the two of us. Where are we? Where are we there again? Jet says, I'm personally relishing playing these teams around us for the run-in. It's exactly who we need to beat to get there anyways. You're dead right, Jet. You're dead right. Saying that, I'd like it a small bit easier, but like playing Brentford, if we are to get Europe on merit, we need to beat Brentford, and I think that's a fair, that's a fair fight, I suppose. Really, if we are to get Europe, we have to beat Brentford, and it's as simple as that. If we are to get Europe, we have to beat Brighton on the last day of the season. If we are to get Europe, we have to get results at Newcastle, get results away at Wolves. Call me naive, call me drinking the Kool-Aid or whatever, but we could. Like as I say, there's nothing to say that we go unbeaten in all those games, and that's what it is. We're at the stage where it's. I think we win at the weekend. We're in a must not lose territory after that for the last 8 games. And it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be fun, and it's it's going to be, hopefully there'll be opportunities where we get really excited, and we be able to puff out our chest, because there's no point following a team if you don't want to be excited. And yeah, I don't need an invitation to be excited at the best of times. Where else are we? Yes, Duncan Kilburn says the Holy Trinity Pete, Canadian Pete, is flying over for the match as well. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get to meet him at some stage over the weekend. Gonna try, but like obviously he's got a busy schedule, and just with some of the stuff he's doing, I was watching his podcast. But if we can, certainly I'm gonna try and meet him before the game for sure. See if we can get to meet him. Where else are we? So John Steele says, of all the goals scored within the first 15 minutes, Villa have scored 39% of all goals in the Premier League. Early goal is necessary to get rid of their low block. Yes, I think it is. I think an early goal is necessary. I think Unai Emery knows that in every game he goes out to play, because there's a reason we score goals early. And I think we try things early, and then we have a bit of a recidivist kind of mentality then after that. Um, to kind of to kind of pull back and just do an Unai Emery on it. I for one hope we can score an early goal again, because we always look at different beasts when we score an early goal. We just do. We look more confident in ourselves, and it gives confidence from the goalkeeper up. So yeah, John, like that, I agree with you. I'm not too sure that we're not going to be able to break down their low block if they play like a Mangala, Fruler, and Kouate in midfield. I still think we'll be able to get at them, but what Leicester did against us very well was they clogged the middle. They let us pass, but they let us go for the Hollywood pass. Or they forced us into going for that Hollywood pass, that maybe that intermediate ball into Watkins or into Bailey, or yeah, into Bailey at times, out to Bailey, should I say, at times. But they didn't really do much of it when they picked us off. Yes, they scored that goal, and they had a couple of other opportunities. That's 100% there, but we owned the ball, and they kind of were comfortable allowing us pass it in certain areas. Looking back at it, Forest ideally would probably do the same thing, but Forest went 1-0 up against Leeds. They ended up losing 2-1. That could be a massive anvil blow or hammer blow, whatever you want to call it, to their confidence. So an early goal would set us up for sure. Dean Everest says, have a brilliant time with Paddy this weekend, pad up the Villa. Thank you so much, Dean. So Potty says, I'm quite a young Villa fan, so much that I barely remember the O'Neill era. This is as good as it's been for Villa in my lifetime, and I tell you what, I'm loving it. Absolutely. Like when I first started following Villa was 92, the late 92, early 93 season. And then we went from there on, and we had 94 where we were winning League Cup. We had 96 where we won League Cup. We had European competition. We had Stan Collymore almost dragging us back into it against Atletico Madrid. We had trips to Trabzonspor. We had Stum Godstrait. We had all these we had Inter Milan in the UEFA Cup. All these things, that happened, and then there was a very big barren spell. So for young Aston Villa fans there, as I say, that have known maybe not much more than the Remy Gards or the Tim Sherwoods or the Paul Lamberts or the Alex McLeishes of this world, this is fantastic, and I'm glad that you're loving it, Paddy. I'm glad that you are, because that's what sport is all about, and that's what following a great team like Aston Villa is all about as well, for sure. Where else are we? Yeah, Scott, that's a good point. Johnson running it young after playing 3 games this week is really my only worry. We should have enough to get to 3 points. Yeah, I agree. I think Brennan Johnson has loads of talent, and he's on a bit of form at the moment. But I think he's a better matchup against Ashley Young, for Ashley Young, should I say, than Harvey Barnes was. Because I don't think Brennan Johnson is as fast as Barnes, which isn't the reason why. So I don't know why I said it, but I just think Ashley Young, because of the way they set up, because he's going to be more central, Brennan Johnson is going to be more central. I think Ashley Young will have more help, from a McGinn, or maybe from a Ramsey pulling tighter. So I think he'll have a small bit more help. But yes, a concern for sure. Definitely their talisman there. Mike Warmbold. Just got to the hospital with my wife to have her third child. Told her we need to get out of here for Saturday morning. Probably won't happen. But I have the Villa on here ready to go. Villa onesie here ready to go. Mike, congratulations. Hope everything goes absolutely fantastic for it. For you. I really do. And that'd be brilliant. Listen, don't worry about Aston Villa for one weekend. Go away and make sure that family comes first and get that and get and hopefully everything goes well and hopefully it isn't a long labor, Mike. And to be honest with you, if she catches you on your phone watching this, she'll murder you. So go back quickly. Go back quickly. There's a lot of hand holding to go before before she has it. But best of luck with you guys, and let us know on our next on the next podcast how it went. Thanks, Mike, and like that's amazing. It's going to be such a great weekend. And if Villa win, you can go back, you can watch it back afterwards, and you'll have two things to celebrate. That's fantastic. Eden Derry Villa asks, is Kamara still injured or does Bertie deserve a start? Kamara likely is still injured. I think he still has a bit of a knock. I don't think he's trained this week. I would be surprised if he is available for the weekend. You've asked the $6 million question, I think, with regards to Bertie. Are those cameos off the bench more than... Like, does he bring more starting than Bailey? Oh, that's a load of questions. I know the comments just going to fill up, but you guys know, what I'm going to ask here. Is it just going to be the same as when we start Bailey, if we start Traore? But do we know that Traore can do what he did against Leicester coming off the bench, whereas we know that Bailey most likely can't? I don't even know if I've explained myself well here. Yeah, answers in a postcard if you got that. But my answer is, do I think he deserves a start? I think he does, but I think for the betterment, I think for what he offers to the team, he can switch it on like a light bulb when he comes on because of his maverick nature. Whereas Leon Bailey hasn't shown the ability to be able to do that at all yet. So I think I might start him at the weekend. I think I would start him at the weekend, but I think Unai won't. But I could be wrong. I think I've all bases covered there. I think I've all bases covered there for sure. Then Gig Sharma asks, is it time for Duran? Yeah, I would have no problem with him starting this either. I just don't think he will, but I would have no problem with him starting this game. Actually, I think this game might be a nice fit for him if they play a low block, if they play that Christmas tree formation, because it would allow him then to drop off Watkins, come into midfield and do a small bit of bullying of Mangala. Not bullying, but you know what I mean? Body on, like, big body on big body, kind of Kouate, Mangala, Fruler, that kind of stuff, being able to front up to them if we were to maybe drop our kickouts a small bit shorter. Maybe so. I think so. So Stato is in here. Aston Villa manager Unai Emery has never lost a Premier League home game against a promoted side. 1-4 and drawn 1. Sorry for my yawning. Do apologize. Yeah, and Hookah SC says, many people say AVFC Stato is the most sexy stats account on Twitter, and they're right. I have no reason to not believe that statement. No reason whatsoever to not believe that statement. So there you go. You've got a fan. You've got a fan, Stato. Lots of fans. Ashley Young scored Aston Villa's goal against Forest in their 1-1 draw in a reverse fixture this season. The last team he scored home and away Premier League goals against in the same season was Wigan in 2010, 2011. I think I said we beat Forest earlier on. But obviously I meant to be true because I know we didn't beat them. Where else are we? Villa have won their last 2 Premier League games, beating Palace, 2 Premier League home games, beating Palace 1-0 and Bournemouth 3-0. They've not won 3 in a row at Villa Park since in the same campaign since August to October 2007. 3 home games in a row. I suppose that does sound about right, actually, the more I think about it. It's not a typo, Stato, no? It could be right, actually. Well, I'm 100% it's right. You don't tend to make mistakes, Stato, but, I'm just trying to process this on the fly here. It's a long time ago. It's nearly 15 and a half years ago. Crikey. Can't really call it Fortress Villa Park unless we do it. Well, if we do it the weekend, we can. Wow. Yeah. Where else are we? There's a lot of scores coming in here with 3-1. Line Pedersen says, Line, oh my God, I hope I didn't butcher your name, but you said 3-1 win. Where else are we? Matt Sly says, Una has brought a structure and a system to stick to. In all predicaments, we don't look scared after scoring like we usually do. Absolutely. Do you know what? I agree. God, do you remember the start of the season where we'd score a goal and then 90 seconds later we'd be picking it out of the back of the net? Everton, Bolton, another game that I can't remember. That's actually a good point. We don't look like, yes, we've done a goal like when we score now, because back then it was so unstructured and we were going on long runs of not scoring. And at times long runs of not having a shot. And now everything is a lot more structured, and we've scored in every game, haven't we? So yeah, we have to be confident, I think. Have to be confident of that, all right. Yeah, Garrett says he hopes that Bailey doesn't start. Yeah, I look, as I say, it's I think he's likely to start. Unai Emery starts over Bertie. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would probably start John Duran in this game, and mad and all as it might be, and bring Bertie off the bench to try and change it up. Is that the real Ty Bracey? Where's Ty Bracey? Oh, there is Ty Bracey. Is that the real Ty Bracey? Hello, handsome man. Hello, handsome Ty. Unfortunately, Stato, yes. Okay, it is. So I'm just catching up in the comments here, guys, from stuff that was mentioned 12 or 13 minutes ago. So, where else are you? Whoa, Paul Miller. Thank you so much, man. Jesus Christ. Excuse my. See, have been trying my best. Paddy's a bad influence. I've been trying my best not to swear on the podcast, but I think that deserves a Jesus Christ. But Paul, sound man for that. Thank you so much. That is unbelievable. Thank you, Paul. I'm speechless. Genuinely, that's crazy. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate everybody chatting in, and thanks a million for that, Paul. That's brilliant. Stato says AVF Aston Villa have won each of their last 3 Premier League games played at 3 p.m. on a Saturday, keeping a clean sheet in all 3 of those games. Stato, can you confirm or deny that we have 23 points from 42 won at home this season, if we're still there? I saw that stat there somewhere, and it just maybe we do, but it's, I suppose when you think about it, it's 7 wins, 1 draw. Doesn't seem like we've won 7 games at home this season, but we probably have. You know, 23 seems like a lot of points to have won from home, one at home, considering that we have 41, however many points, 44 points. Whoa, there's something making noise in my headphones. I don't know where it's coming from. Where else are we? I'm going to scroll down here a small bit. Sorry if I miss anybody's chats. I see that I'm just catching up on the Bertie conversation I was having with myself there a while ago. Here's a question. Neil, do you think Konza or Mings should play for England? Not until after the season. I don't. I want them to continue. Like, obviously, there won't be an opportunity to play for England between now and the end of the season, but I want them to concentrate. I think Ezri Konza will never get an England call up, but I think Ezri Konza might play international football. I think if Aston Villa got into Europe, I think Ezri Konza could be called up with Portugal. Whether he accepts it or not now is another thing. Put it this way. If I was Stephen Kenny, I'd be rooting through Ezri Konza's family tree to see if he had any Irish grandmother. Put it that way. Ezri Konza's a good footballer. Ezri Konza's a good footballer. I just think that I don't think he'll ever get an England call up. I'm not quite sure I think there's better defenders there. I think Mings is a better defender than him. It's funny actually because I have a piece done on Ezri Konza. I've been delaying my centre back scouting series centre half scouting series. And the reason being is just I knew I wouldn't have an awful lot of time for coming up to this and me going away and stuff like that. But maybe in the middle of next week I might do it. And it's an interesting look over the time Ezri Konsa has been at Aston Villa. It's mad. It's funny, you know, in Football Manager, when you can give people a role like stopper or ball playing centre half or whatever, he's been given a role, and you can see both Gerrard Smith and Unai Emery have given him the same role, and it's statistically it's plain as the no. It's very plain to see, and it goes again like when you're looking at players, even from a statistical point of view, when you're looking at them from an on-field point of view, you know, do you know the way I do those radial graphs sometimes? Sometimes they can be a small bit misleading because I could put up Ezri Konsa's radial graph there, and because I've picked the middle of the road kind of statistics that should show an all-round defender, Ezri Konsa won't show up being very good in that, because what he's been asked to do is very much no one dribbles past you. You are the last line of defense, and do not get caught too far outside the box. And we'll take a look more into it when we're looking at the centre halves. But he's a really interesting study. He really is. And you know what? If there ever was a taking one for the team award, it goes to Ezri Konsa, because he doesn't do anything flash, and he's actually been since probably the fourth game of the season this year. He's been really solid, metrically anyway. Looking at him in the metrics, been really solid. Yeah, 21 points at home, 7 wins. Yeah, it would be 7 wins too. Yes, that's 2 mathematical errors I've made. One is the scoreline in the in the reverse fixture against Forest. And another one here was my maths. I'm trying to get to 23 points. For context, I've been up since about 5:45 this morning, and I've driven roughly about 400 kilometers today. So I'm I'm going to take maths. It won't be my strong point if there's any more of those coming up. But yeah, 7 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses according to who scored. Well, there you go. There's your 23 points. Yeah. Just, I suppose 7 wins and 2 draws doesn't seem as much as 23 points, if that makes sense. But it could be because I'm deliriously tired as well. It could be because I'm deliriously tired. Where else are we? Del boy, thanks a million, Del. So man, thanks a million for that. I don't know, Del, are you around for the game at the weekend? Did I hear that? Was Paddy saying that you were around, or you were maybe going to be around? We're going to get to meet you at the weekend. Pop it in the chat there. That'd be class. Um, oh, Del, no, you just popped in there. You said you can't make it. Okay, I thought, yeah, because I know Paddy said that you were maybe for joining us at the weekend, but some other time for sure. We'd love to get to meet you when you're over there. Paddy is saying, Neil. Oh, were you asking? Was that you that was texting me, Paddy? So 4 minutes ago. Where are you? Oh, Paddy, do you want? Okay, wait 2 seconds. I'm trying to talk. I'm talking to Paddy on 4 or 5 different mediums here. Well, okay. Might have some announcements to make there in a moment. Oh, there it is. Paddy already announced it. Darren Lawler won the tickets. So you guys might know that Paddy had a ticket in the hold. The only problem was it was beside Paddy, so I can understand why it was going, why it was still going at this stage of the week. I joke. Paddy had a ticket in the hold, and he was giving it away to one lucky person, and he asked people to basically more or less just email him or message him why they think they should get the ticket. Kind of like in Father Ted, where they all had to write an essay as to why they should get one of the parachutes when they're all on the plane. You remember that? And Darren Lawler is the winner of that ticket. So Darren, looking forward to seeing you at the weekend, and well done. And hopefully you are a lucky charm, just like me. But it's all right. If we win, you're the lucky charm. If we lose, I'm the bad luck charm. All right, we'll make that agreement right now. Yeah, Debo Tops is saying you have to read out all the emails, Paddy. No, we won't be doing that for sure. But well done, Darren, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you. Richard Knowles asked, is it okay to say Jesus Christ over Easter? Well, the priests will be in trouble because they'll probably end up saying his name an awful lot over Easter. So I don't know. Yeah, so I think that's going to do it. I said I think I'm going to go with an optimistic 3-1, and realistically, it's that like I think come game day I'll probably say 1-0 Villa, but at the moment I'm going to go 3-1, and it's not because I'm being cocky or anything. It's just because I really want to see goals, and behind this demure and tired exterior that you're seeing right now, I'm as giddy as a March hare about hopping on a bus tomorrow at 9 o'clock to get to Dublin Airport for about 11:30 to start sinking a few pints to cure the nerves before hopping on the plane to get over to Aston, to get on a in a cab, to get out to the social, to get into a cab, and maybe then hit the town or hit some place for the night. So I'm excited about that, and I hope you are all excited about the game as well. Going to try and get to Team Sheet Tantrum, as I said to everybody. We'll try and do one outside Villa Park, as you all know. Finding Wi-Fi is almost like finding the end of a rainbow around Villa Park, but we will try it. We are going to do a little video vlog of our time over in Birmingham, myself and Paddy, and we're going to release it later on next week. It'll be a bit of crack. It won't be of anything like the caliber of Max Stokes videos, but you'll we'll try. Yeah, we'll try and put something together. Just because you know what's funny, a lot of people ask us or get onto about myself and Paddy, specifically coming from Ireland, asking, you know, when you fly in, what's the story about getting cabs? What's the story about getting buses? All these things, you know, that people who maybe coming from overseas might be interested in. So we'll try and do that. I'm saying that we will try and do it because we may not remember to do all of it, but we'll try and put a little vlog together on that as well, and just kind of cataloging bit of crack that we're going to have over there as well. Just be a bit of an extra podcast for next week. So we'll try and do the Team Sheet Tantrum anyway. We'll also maybe try and pop on for 10 minutes afterwards for a post match. See if we can find, maybe we might find Dan Bardell. Maybe if Ty, if you're around, if you're hanging around afterwards, we'll get you on in the flesh. I'm looking forward. Hopefully I get to meet you in 3D, Mr. Bracey. But yeah, as I say, I'm going to be over there with bells on from tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope you all are too. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all for all the engagement, all the crack, all the comments and stuff like that. And we'll have hopefully a ton more after the game at the weekend. And just before I go, Richard, thank you so much for that, Richard. I really, 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 really appreciate it. And you know what? I'm going to be, I'll be efforting as hard as I've ever efforted it before. Uh, you know, I've been talking business speak all day today when I was down in the office. I'll be efforting today on Saturday to get to meet up with everybody, Canadian Pete included. I won't have a pint with Canadian Pete. I'll have a fine whiskey with Canadian Pete because he's the man. He's a man whose whiskey tastes I would like to indulge in for an hour or so before the game. But anyway, I'm talking nonsense now, but I do hope I get to meet Pete and everybody else over the weekend. So I'm going to leave it at that, everybody. It's 5 minutes to 11 here in Ireland. I got to get some shut eye. I'll probably get about an hour's sleep before the child wakes up again because she's been waking up all night. But anyway, it's not going to, I'll have plenty of time to sleep on the bus and on the plane tomorrow. So next time you see me, we'll be over in Birmingham. I really appreciate everything you guys do for the podcast as always. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.